Good morning. Today we will discuss our research study entitled Consequences and Risks of Repeated Pregnancy Among Adolescents in the Philippines.
Hi, I'm Kate Desiree Arbilla Priya. I will discuss rationale in Chapter 1.
And I'm Blazy Maydita Vocal and I will be discussing the local study of Chapter 3.
I will discuss rationale in Chapter 1. This study discusses the repeated pregnancy among adolescents in the repeated birth of a young person. Adolescents are tempted to get pregnant again and again. Adolescents are aggressive when it comes to sexuality. In addition, adolescents do not know the consequences of every actions. Age 15 to 19 where the sexuality began to explore, so that adolescents do a sex without thinking the consequences. Adolescents are at a higher risk when it comes to depression caused by repeated pregnancy. The researcher conducted this research because of the consequences and risks to adolescents that got pregnant at an early age.
Here, I will discuss background of the study. Through the years, with the changes of the behavior of the adolescents, teen pregnancy rises every year. Adolescents go to school but they have lack of motivation due to the different problems. Adolescents are doing a rebel to their parents, which is the reason to get involved in sexual link to teen pregnancy. There are problems that cause rising teen pregnancy and repeated pregnancy. We'll discuss the statement of the problem. This research will be undertaken to analyze and review the consequences and risks of repeated pregnancy among adolescents in the Philippines. In the research project, specifically, it will seek to answer the following questions. Number one, what are the demographic profile of the respondents in terms of 1.1 age, 1.2 sex, 1.3 location, 1.4 civil status, 1.5 occupational, 1.6 educational level. Number 2. What are possible consequences and risks of repeated pregnancy among adolescents in the Philippines? Number 3. What are the best practices to prevent the repeated pregnancy among adolescents in the Philippines? And I will discuss the significance of the study. The result of the study will provide more insight and information. This study would prove beneficial and helpful to many stakeholders, particularly the following. To the students, it will give them an awareness about the consequences and risks of repeated pregnancy. To the teachers, to have an idea how to teach and approach the adolescent when it comes to pregnancy. To the parents, they will have an idea how to handle and help the adolescents to prevent repeated pregnancy. To the future researchers, to contribute more knowledge to the researcher on how this study helps a lot of adolescents to be aware about pregnancy. It can be used as a basis for the next research. Scope and limitation. This study focused on the consequences and risks of repeated pregnancy among adolescents in the year Philippines. The study was conducted during the year 2022 to 2023. The respondents were the adolescents' mothers in Maoban, Quezon.
Today I will discuss about methodology, local of the study, research design, population and sampling, research instrument, data gathering procedure, and statistical treatment. The local of the study. The study was conducted in Mauban, Quezon, year 2022 to 2023. The site was chosen as the research local because based on the data of Mauban, Quezon is one of the numerous adolescent mothers who experience repeated pregnancy. The research design, mixed method research, and the population and sampling. The respondent of the study were adolescent mothers in Mauban, Quezon. Statistical treatment. The data collected were tallied, compiled, analyzed, and interpreted. The weighted mean was used to determine the impact of consequences and risk of repeated pregnancy among the adolescents in the Philippines. It was calculated through weighted mean. The formula: weighted mean equals 4 frequency plus 3 frequency plus 2 frequency plus frequency over total number of the respondent. The following 4-point scales to determine the impact of the consequences and risk of the repeated pregnancy among the adolescents in the Philippines.